This right here is a one-off whiskey that will never be repeated.
I'm really excited to try that.
Yeah, because this here is the Pillars of Creation 2024 release from Two Stacks. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt, I'm the Whiskey Nerd.
I'm Rose, and I'm the Whiskey Noob.
And like I said, this week we're looking at the Pillars of Creation from Two Stacks. So let me get it out of the can.
We legit haven't tasted this yet.
And into the glass, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it. Now, this is Two Stacks. I think this is their new bottle design as well, and it's also a can, which we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to see, like, this is also, they redesigned their bottles like, to be more sustainable, so I think this is like mostly recycled materials. It's kind of cool.
The bottle's also taller or less fat.
I think it's a little bit less fat, a little bit taller, and it has their logo on the front. Which
it's sealed, BT
It's still
does.
sealed. Yeah, we'll explain that in a second. So the Pillars of Creation is actually on their logo there. Those are like, I'll put a picture of the nebula up there.
Yeah.
But there's a thing called the Pillars of Creation, and you have the Polaris, the North Star there, because I think they have a collection of whiskies called the Polaris Collection, and this is their Pillars of Creation, which is an annual release that they're going to be doing, and this year is the 2024 release.
Okay. So what's the story with the can, though?
So Two Stacks are doing this thing now, like it's actually pretty clever. So when you're buying whiskies from Two Stacks, especially the kind of limited edition releases, you can get a bottle, or you can get a can, or you can get a bottle and a can as like a bundle.
Woo!
With the idea being that like you can try it out if you don't have enough money to buy, like if you're at limited funds, you don't want to buy a 120, 130 euro bottle of whiskey.
Because it can get expensive.
You can get a can, still enjoy it, still try it.
Yeah.
But then you're not kind of committing to a full-size bottle, or like what I'm doing right here, I'm going to open up the can, have a taste, enjoy it, do the review, and because this is an annual release, I'm going to hold on to the bottle sealed, and then next year, because they're going to have releases going on.
Okay.
And some of the releases, which I'll explain in a minute, might contain some of this same whiskey, but aged a little bit more, so I get to try them against each other properly with an unopened, fresh cracked bottle.
Okay. Can we just look at this can for a second? Because it's got a hella cute name, Dram in a Can, though it's like 3 shots worth.
It's 100 ml, so like 3 shots, yeah.
Okay.
2.5 good measures, or 3 shots. Yeah.
And it's so cute, and you can fit a couple of these in the purse. Go to festivals, happy days.
Yeah, the Dram in a Can is really like mobile. You can take it with you, and it's handy enough for trying out whiskies, because recently we also, when I ordered this, I got the single pot still whiskey from them, which we opened, we drunk it. I definitely have to try it out again. Try out another one because I really enjoyed it. We'll do a review of that another time, but right now it's empty. But yeah, so the idea is that you can get the cans, enjoy it, and then you can hold on to your bottle, or if you just want to try it out once and be done with it, you can get a can.
Yeah, because sometimes you're out and about, you might be on a beach holiday, and like, you don't want just any old whiskey. You want some nice whiskey, but you can't be bringing a whole bottle in your purse, so you bring this, and everyone can enjoy the good stuff.
And speaking of the good stuff, speaking of the whiskey, what makes this one so special? Well, it is so I've been really excited about this because I've known Two Stacks were doing something like this for a while. So normal blended Irish whiskey comes from like 1 or 2 or 3 distilleries at most, and it's like it'll generally be all from that same distillery. This is a blend of multiple distilleries.
I was wondering about, because I can see the side of it, what that means.
On the side of it there, it tells you like which of the casks. It's single casks. You can read it off the can there. But they're single cask releases, and I'll just kind of go through them. So there is a 10-year-old single malt whiskey, which is aged in first fill bourbon casks from Dingle Distillery. There's an 8-year-old Echlinville single pot still whiskey, which is aged in first fill bourbon casks. And there's a 4-year-old Killowen whiskey, single pot still whiskey, which is aged in quarter casks, so refill bourbon quarter casks.
Okay.
And the idea of this is like you can take whiskeys from different distilleries, mix them together, and get like it's really.
Sorry, I really love it. It's so cute.
And you can kind of make something that's better than the sum of its parts. You can get like the herbal maltiness from Dingle. You can get that kind of vibrant spiciness from the Killowen. You can mix them together.
Yeah.
And that's the idea. Like I think it'll actually work out really well.
Whiskey science.
Whiskey science. So those casks, the 2 bourbon casks, were 200 litres, and the quarter casks, despite the name quarter, was actually 120 litres. So what they did was actually took 3 100 litres, so they took 100 from each of the casks. So this is an equal parts blend.
Oh.
They did say that they held on to like the 100 litres left from the Dingle, the 100 litres and the 20 litres from the Killowen.
Okay.
And they're going to use those in future blends. So some of the whiskey that's in here might be in future releases. Yeah, and they were married for 2.5 years. In
a very short marriage.
A very short marriage in a cream sherry butt, which means that the Dingle was 7.5 years in that bourbon cask. The Echlinville was, I think, 5.5 years in the bourbon cask, and the Killowen was 1.5 years before they all went into the sherry butt, the cream sherry butt, for 2.5 years.
Question. Cream sherry butt. Now, cream makes me a little worried about trying this whiskey because I'm lactose intolerant.
So, cream sherry is just like, it's not a type of sherry, but it is a type of sherry. It's a cream sherry is like a blend of sherries.
Oh.
So it's generally speaking a bit of Pedro Jimenez and a bit of Oloroso sherry.
Okay.
You can have other sherries. I know this one also had some Amontillado sherry mixed in.
Yeah.
And that'll give you like a balance of like the richness, the really syrupiness of the PX with maybe a bit of dry notes.
Okay.
And you'll get this, and it kind of has this creamy mouthfeel, has this rich mouthfeel.
Is that what it's called, cream sherry?
I believe so, yeah. But I'm not 100%
As long as
sure.
there's no lactose in it, I'm happy.
As long as there's no lactose in it, you'll be very happy.
Yeah.
And speaking of that kind of cream sherry cask, I asked them about like the future releases, and they told me this. So I'm assuming I'm free to share this on the internet. They told me that the next release has been laid down, or for its finishing period, in a Palo Cortado cask.
Woo.
And it includes a little bit of, let's say, single pot still whiskey from the Boan Distillery.
Oh my god, now that's a marriage.
Because I think Boan is now 5 years old, so some of that whiskey might be pretty good. So we'll see what they come out with next year.
Okay.
They say that every year there'll be multiple releases, up to like 4 distilleries in a blend.
Alright.
So there should be some pretty good whiskies coming out. Last little fact, it comes in at 56% ABV.
Ooh, seating it up.
It is natural colour, non-chill filtered, like classic 2 stacks.
Like, do you kind of wonder, right? With the whiskeys that are natural color and the colors are gorgeous, like, would you ever go to a whiskey where they put the color, like coloring into it, you know?
Some brands do that just for consistency.
Okay.
Because they might have, especially if you're doing single cask or multiple years, they might just add a bit of colour. Because it might only be like a drop or two just to get a...
Yeah, but what if you like the uniqueness of it though?
Well, I
prefer uniqueness and honesty.
I would prefer to taste the whiskey, but I think, yes, you're right, that like, brands are now moving more towards that transparency.
Yeah, because this looks legit.
Yeah, but shall we go in?
Yeah, we legit have not tasted this.
Have not tasted this yet, so let's go in for the nose.
Ah, fresh nose. Cheers. Oh. Well, first of all, you can tell it's a 56%er, but not like in a bad way. It's at the end. It's got
like a bit of heat, a bit of spiciness to it, but
there's definitely spices in there. There's the sweetness that's on top.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to say creamy, like creamy sherry, but like a lot of that bourbon influence will give you a butterscotch, caramel, creme brulee, that kind of almost custardy creme brulee.
Maybe like because creme brulee, you burn it on top, right? Like burnt creme brulee, but that's just creme brulee. But you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of like, so I know I've had a lot of the Dingle whiskey, and the Dingle like DNA has this like herbal, almost botanical, almost like
a gin,
or not like a gin, but just like almost grassy herbal note to it. I'm getting a little bit of that, but that is a third of the blend. Like, it's got a lot of that spiciness. Like the youngest whiskey in here is about 4 years old, which is kind of, it's Killowen. It's gonna be made well.
Killowen.
And has this like vibrancy to it. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's not weird, but it's like, I'm glad they spent 2.5 years in the cream sherry, because it's not like there's a really sharp note and a really herbal note. It's like it's all working together.
It's blended.
Yeah.
I think.
You think?
This might be the weirdest thing I've ever said about a whiskey. It kind of reminds me of coffee. But not like coffee beans.
Oh, I get
but
you,
like
yeah.
A coffee.
Almost like a coffee chocolate, something that's sweet.
Yes, like chocolate flavored.
Chocolate flavored.
Coffee flavored coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, sorry, coffee flavored chocolate.
Coffee flavored, like that kind of like a milk chocolate with like a coffee cream or something in it. Yeah, that kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm also getting like a touch of. The more I sit with it, the more like I let it go. There's a bit of oak spice as well coming through, but yeah, that kind of coffee note is a bit surprising coming through.
Yeah, I've never noted a coffee note in a whiskey before.
Well,
let's taste it.
Let's go in for the taste. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my god. That is so good.
This is, it's quite thick on the approach. Like you get this like pasta has this kind of heavy, oily character. It comes in. You can tell it doesn't really feel like it's 56. Maybe it feels like it's like 50%. Like it
does not taste. Oh my.
It doesn't burn. As I'm talking again. Oh, that's
real good.
That's real good, yeah.
This might be one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. Legit. Though you can't taste the 56%ness on there. It's so done. It is a sweet baby. There's this thick sweetness to it, but like candy.
Yeah, I'm almost getting like more of that coffee note.
Yeah, coffee like carrot. Yeah, it's coffee chocolate.
Coffee and chocolate, kind of like less milk chocolate, more like almost dark chocolate. On the palate.
On the verge.
Yeah, it's not like a really sweet, but it's like it's
no.
there. Yeah, but that sherry, almost nuttiness coming through.
It's thick and creamy.
It's thick and creamy. Like again, a lot of that bourbon. There was 7.5 years, 5.5 years, and a year and a half in bourbon casks. So you're gonna get a lot of that bourbon influence coming through.
That is really good.
And then that sherry influence. It doesn't dominate. Like that's interesting because normally when you get like a 2.5 year sherry finish, you might be worried that it's going to take over. You're just going to get a massive sherry bomb. Here, it just kind of helps round everything out, bring them together.
Oh yeah, there's no bomb except for the fact that it's
flavorful,
delicious.
And you get that peppery pot still spice because again, 2/3 of it is pot still whiskey.
Yeah.
And you get that creaminess rounding out. So it's not, again, like I said with the notes, it's not like there's notes of it going in every direction. It's just like rounded out. I don't want to say smooth because everyone hates saying smooth, whiskey is smooth, but it's any sharp edges that there might have been smoothed out.
I like can't even listen to you right now because I'm so entranced.
That's great to hear. From my wife.
I think this might be a new top 3.
A new top 3?
I think it might be a new top 3 or top 2. Now, when I could have lactose, I was a big old fan of cheesecake. This reminds me of a New York style cheesecake, primarily vanilla, but with chocolate accents on top.
I get because the New York style, again, if you're not familiar with New York style cheesecake, put a picture up there. It's not like a soft, wet cheesecake. It's been baked, and you get I was about to say creme brulee, again with that toasted, almost burnt brown sugar.
Yeah.
But that it's been cooked, like that creaminess, the bit of custard, the vanilla.
White chocolate cheesecake with coffee.
White, yeah. Yeah, there's that white chocolate. There's that kind of rounded out. There's a bit of cocoa note to it. Yeah, this is interesting. Again, this is one of the reasons why we try not to do a fresh crack review on
because
camera.
we get distracted.
We just get distracted and start talking. Like I'll do reviews. I'll write my notes like a day in advance at least. This is it. This is really interesting. I could go back. I think there's about a third of the can left.
It's a nice day outside, honey.
This bottle might not make it to 2025. Well, no, at least I'll do save some of it.
Can we get another?
Oh, it's sold out. Oh, this is completely sold out. There was 300 bottles of this, and there were 750 cans. I think everything sold out within an hour. I think all the bottles went.
Can you ask if there's a secret second release?
There might be there'll be a 2025 release.
I want this!
Yeah, so this is sold out completely. I almost feel bad doing the review because it's a very nice whiskey and you won't be able to get it.
I want cans! I want more!
So that's why I think doing the cans is cool because there were 750 cans. So you could get a can, and I think the bottles sold out within like 5 minutes. The cans I think were still available for like an hour or two. So
I don't think I've ever been so upset in my life about whiskey that I cannot get this.
Yeah.
What if this disappears?
Let's finish off. Let's talk with the finish, and then we'll go in and give out about why you can't get another bottle, and this is my bottle.
What's yours is mine. What's mine is mine.
So, on the finish, I'm getting like a bit of biscuity malt coming through from like that. From the Dingle, you get that biscuity malt. You get that kind of like character coming through. Again, going back to that cheesecake, almost like that biscuit.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The biscuity bit of a cheesecake is what I get at the end.
But after I took like 2 or 3 breaths, that sherry came forward to me. Like the spiciness is still there. I can still feel it. The biscuity note, the vanilla, the caramel, that kind of faded off for me.
Yeah.
And like that allowed that sherry to come up. Like it is. We will drink sherry. Like I buy sherry to make
it's
cocktails,
tasty.
and we will drink sherry. And like it has that kind of like, I don't want to say cloying, but like stickiness.
Yes.
Where it has it lingers. It's like that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
So there's the sherry note for me, and that bit of spiciness from the pot still, but not really spicy. Just like not baking, like white pepper or black pepper, like that kind of peppery spice goes on to the finish.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with all of that.
Yeah. And again, does not feel super high. 56%
not at all.
is not cask strength. Well, it might be cask. I'm not sure if they added a bit of water, but 56% is not low, but it's also it's not.
Sometimes you can taste it.
Yeah,
you cannot
can sometimes
taste this.
This is really nice. Yeah.
This might be a dangerous boy.
Yeah. Well, hold on to this at least until we get that. We need to try it again. Are you going to try and hold on to it for me? Maybe. Yeah, before we give our final thoughts, I'm going to maybe have another sip of me off camera.
I'm going to have this whole thing.
If you're new here, scroll down, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We put out whiskey reviews every Wednesday. We put out cocktail recipes featuring whiskey every Friday. There won't be a cocktail featuring this.
Oh, no.
But there will be a cocktail featuring some whiskey this Friday. So if you want to see that, make sure you check back. But right now, in terms of final thoughts.
Love it.
Love it. This is one of the reasons why I was really excited about the blend, the idea of like that, taking that blend, taking that multiple distillery blend and bringing them all together, because for me it works really well.
Yes.
You take like different characters, like as I'm talking now, I'm really getting that Killowen character going. Like it's weird. Like I think I'll be going back. I'll be sipping this slowly for the next hour or so. I might hold on to that, or we will split that out. But like up front, I was getting a lot of Dingle. Now, as I'm talking, get that Killowen. So
what about the Echlinville?
So Echlinville haven't released their own whiskey yet.
Oh, so we don't know what it tastes like. So the mystery bit could be the Echlinville.
Yeah, we know what a lot. So they've released some whiskey, like that's been like 90% their whiskey.
Okay.
But I don't think, at least I've not tasted 100% Echlinville whiskey yet.
The mystery remains.
Yeah, so I think we will soon.
Okay.
But like right now, for me, I haven't tasted 100% Echlinville yet. Okay. But yeah, like it's weird. You get that kind of different vibes as you go back for different sips, and that's just really cool because there's almost 50 Irish distilleries now, and I think Two Stacks, JJ Corey, a few of the other bonders and blenders have a good future ahead of them where they get to take different whiskies and make interesting different combinations that individual distilleries can't do themselves. Yeah. So I think that's all there is to say about it. We are going to be sipping and savouring this for the next little while. If you haven't subscribed yet already, subscribe now, but I will see you next time. Sláinte.
Bye-bye.